Hi, I'm Eduardo and this is the JavaScript Haunted House. We got to the most comfortable place in the house. Or maybe not. Well, it doesn't matter. What matters is what we're gonna see in this chapter tries to make programming more comfortable for us, relating our concept of real-world objects to virtual objects. The object-oriented programming was designed as a try to approach the real world to the virtual world. The main idea is to simulate the real world inside a computer. To do so, nothing more natural than using objects. After all, our world is made up of objects, right? Defining objects in our code allows us to group properties and functions in a more organized way. In JavaScript, almost everything is an object, except primitive types: string, number, true, false, null, and undefined. Objects are also variables, but when we refer to objects, we are trying to represent a variable with multiple values and a behavior attached to it, not just a single value. In JavaScript, there are several ways to create objects. The easiest way to create an object is using the object literal notation. With object literal, you can create an object with a simple statement. An object literal is a list of names and values. These names are called properties. Note that the properties are separated with a comma. The properties may have different types, as a string, numbers, arrays, functions, and even other objects. We can also declare our object in multiple lines. To access the object's properties, use the name of the object dot the property that we want to access. To change the value of a property, we just assign a different value to it, in the same way we will do to a regular variable. Let's call object.property and change the value. We can also create other properties after the object has already been created. For this, we simply call the object.name of the new property, just as if we had already declared the property in the object creation. JavaScript will look for the property in our object, will realize it doesn't exist, and it will create the new property automatically for us. To remove a property, use the keyword delete, followed by the object.property that we want to remove. Another way to access the property's values is using the array syntax. Now, let's see how to add behavior, that is, methods to our object. Our ghost has a name and a last name. Let's create a method that returns the full name of our ghost. To call the methods, we use the syntax object.method plus open and close parentheses. Now that we know how to create objects and how they can help us better organize our code, it's time to upgrade our inventory. In the last chapter, we talked about functions and we created a function to add items to our inventory, remember? Based on this scenario and trying to keep this logic, add item must be a behavior of our inventory object, which doesn't exist yet. Let's create an object literal called inventory, and then we can add behavior to it. So, we have an inventory object that now has an add item behavior. Our code is getting more organized and even more elegant, I'd say. Another way to create objects with JavaScript is to use object constructors. Object constructors are useful because we can create multiple objects of the same type. Obviously, each one of them will have different values, but the same properties and behavior. It's time to move on. How about a snack to eat on the go? No, that's not a good idea. Good luck in the challenges and I see you soon.